Step one in creating your cropped work of art is to find some interesting subject matter. So I went online and I found this image of a mask that I really enjoy. So the next thing I would want to do is just sort of play around with cropping and zooming in and out to get an interesting image. I want to do it so much so that the viewer is not really sure what the image is. I could then do my sketch off of this image that I've zoomed in and cropped for myself. Another thing that you could do as well is to find an interesting object around your house, and you can make a little viewfinder. So if you just take a square piece of paper, any paper will do, you're going to be folding it in half once and in half again. And you're going to be cutting out this tip, this corner that you've created. And then when you unfold it, you have something that looks like this. And so this can be a great way to actually crop things in real life. So you can see I'm playing around, and when I'm happy with what I see inside the square, that's what I'll draw. I can even set it up and do something like this. Maybe it is a bird's eye view. So have fun, choose an image that you find interesting already, and then crop it, zoom in, zoom out, and just play around to find an interesting image. Now you're ready for the next step in creating your cropped work of art. Locate some paper. I just happen to have this brown recycled rough sketch pad here, and I was starting to think it really looks like a paper bag. So please feel free to grab a piece of paper bag, cut out a piece for yourself, and do your sketch on that. It could create some really interesting images. So I got a little head start here, but basically what you're going to do is try to sketch what you see on your cropped image. And I like to, just draw with a regular old pencil, any pencil you have around your house. And I like to draw sort of light to begin with, and then I can come in and layer my pencil and make it a little bit darker. One thing you can do if you're having a hard time getting started is to break the image down into smaller sections. So for example, I could use my pencil, and I'm trying to find the middle of my image from top to bottom. It seems like it's about right at this point. I could also come in and use my pencil to find the middle vertically. So this is using sight lines or dividing it up into a grid. So it seems like the middle of my picture is sort of right about in this area. So that gives me a starting point. If I look at my paper, you can see that's where I started, where this little red boomerang shape is. So that can help you get started. I do like to draw really lightly, as I don't like to do a lot of erasing. And if I draw lightly, I can come in and I can layer my material and get some different values. So if you remember, value means the lightness or darkness of whatever material it is that you're using. So we just continue to go ahead and try to sketch, the image that I see there. And next time we're going to talk about finishing this up a little bit more. Now we're ready for our final step in our cropped drawing, and I have a couple of tips for you. I decided to just challenge myself by using one pencil for the whole drawing. You are more than welcome to use any material you have on hand. You can add color, you don't have to. You could use pencil, you could use ink pen, Sharpie, crayon, whatever you want. It's artist choice. But a couple tips and tricks if you decide to work with just one color pencil, whatever it might be. So you want to come in and find your lightest areas and your darkest areas. And I know this can be a little challenging because we have an image with a lot of different colors. So the artist has to make some decisions, and you're more than welcome to do that. You're the artist, you're in charge of all the choices. So immediately I saw black in my image, and I knew that was going to be my darkest dark. And here's another tip also. Say you're drawing and you finish some area down here and you don't want to smudge it with your hand. If you get a scrap piece of paper, you can come in and protect the drawing that you've already done while you're adding, some pencil or whatever to another area of your work. So the first thing I did is I looked for all the black in my work of art. So you can see sort of this area is black, his eye, this recessed area. Anywhere that's black, I'm going to try to make that the darkest dark I can get it. Then the opposite of that, I wanted to decide what is going to be my lightest color. So I decided that this golden tan color is going to be my lightest color, and I might even leave that as the bare paper. So then the other colors I have would be red, blue, gray, and yellow. So as the artist, I need to make some decisions there. I know that the nose here mostly has some shading. So here's another trick for you. If you turn your pencil, instead of holding it normal like that, if you turn it on its side, you can do some of these more feathery strokes and see how it gives it a nice different texture. I could come in and where I have red, I could come in and start to add a medium value. Remember, value means lightness or darkness of whatever material you're working with. You can see here in the blue area, I use my artistic license and I'm starting to do some shading just around the blue area. And I know you don't see it there in the image, but that's okay. As the artist, I can do that. I'm going to come in and make that a little bit darker near the outside because I really want that eye to pop. When it comes to the hair on the side here, you can see I used a very different technique as that has like a really sort of a choppy texture. The hair almost is really not super important. It sort of fades off to the background. So there are all kinds of different tips and tricks that you can use to finish your drawing, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.